good day, my friends. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. I'm doing great. I came to Baraboo, Wisconsin the other day. I've been having a blast, and I found one more thing that I had to share with you. Now, if you saw my other videos when we went to Circus World, that was a blast. But when I came into town, I noticed all kinds of little things that I wanted to share with you, but they have an International Clown Hall of Fame. Now, I may not know, we may not know, all of these famous clowns, but they had all kinds of little gadgets and vehicles and stuff in there, and I thought that would be cool to check out. So Daze with Jordan the Lion, you all back in Baraboo, it begins right now. And I'm not kidding, not to be missed. Go hit Circus World if you come here to town. That place is amazing. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to come back when they're having a circus and I can actually share some of that with you. So far, the people of Baraboo that I've met have been really cool. Now let me take you up to their little town square. I want to show you some of the ringling stuff up there. And it may be a little thing, but I love that I can stand here in one shot and share with you 3 American flags. How cool is that, that this town is that patriotic? And they're up and down the street. They're everywhere. Such a cool little town. You staying in your back bedroom today? Sleeping? This really won me over. They have a mural to the people that made the community. Isn't that cool? There's Happy the Clown. Cheese Factory restaurant. It's a good thing Katie's not here. We'd be in there in a heartbeat. We love our cheese. What a great mural. Their little free library here is like a little train car for the circus. And check this place out, the Baraboo Social Club Barbershop. First off, I love the look of the building with all those old lights and everything, but then look at their amazing sign. All the way down to an old barber pole. So here's their town square, like a town park, including a cannon over here. But this is what caught my eye yesterday. The history of like Ringling Brothers is here. And it acknowledges, you know, all the family members, everything, and it goes all the way down the line. I just thought that was so cool. Like John Kelly, you see him? We found out he's the man that was responsible for opening Circus World. And then over here we have the Al Ringling Theater we gotta check out. This place is beautiful. More circus acknowledgements. Not just of the Ringling family. Fun on the Farm Circus. And then here is a giant stone in recognition of the Ringling Brothers and Baraboo, Wisconsin circus heritage. That's great. It's the birthplace of the renowned Ringling Brothers Circus. It was in this city that the first tent was erected by the 5 Ringling Brothers, Al, Otto, John, Charlie, and Alf T. on May 19th, 1884. In the beginning, it was a tiny show. The brothers rented horses and wagons. They put up the tent, sold the tickets, and performed in the show in addition to the proud owners. There were 18 people on the company roster, but through their diligence, honesty, and hard work, the circus eventually became a household word in America. Look, they have the Ringling kind of a logo right there in front, like it's kind of like a wagon wheel or like the circus wheel, but then there's Al Ringling Theater. Be careful crossing, but yeah, take a look at that. Isn't that awesome? And then his name's even engraved arching over that. Oh, by the way, they have a toy store here with a genie for its logo. Can't beat that. Okay, let's go see what we came for. See some clown history, Clown Hall of Fame. It's actually up here on this corner place right here. Like I said, I wasn't even aware that it was here, and then I was crossing the street and looked over and saw this and I go, wait a minute, that is definitely something we gotta check out. So I poked my head in to see what it looked like, see if it was worth going into, And it was, so they were getting ready to close, so I figured I'd come back today. My favorite part of this, International Clown Hall of Fame and Research Center. I love it. So you come in here and you take the path down here past the weird cow and you'll see the doors back there. I loved it. As soon as I walk in, or as soon as you walk in, they had a one that says push. If that doesn't work, pull. If that doesn't work either, that's because we're closed. Take a look at this place as soon as you walk in. This is awesome. The art of the clown. I love this. As soon as I walked in, I saw this nod to Hollywood here. You got, you know, some of the...
You know, clowns are not all in a circus. They're, you know, they're in movies, they're in television, they're in vaudeville.
And do you consider mimes clowns as well? How does that, you know, I've seen Shakes the Clown. I know that that could be a touchy subject.
Yes, oh yes, them and the rodeo clowns. It's for a clown, a circus clown, or you know, for most clowns in general, mime is like a tool or a technique that we use. But people that are consider themselves primarily mimes, usually that's their art form. So and mimes can be funny or not funny, and they can do dramatic things, and they obviously use no props at all. Whereas clowns can use mime, but like Red Skelton did things with like props and hats and chairs, and it becomes more by pantomime.
Speaking of hats, I was blown away when I walked in. I saw a Buster Keaton hat because I had read that Buster had kind of an abnormally small head, so he used to cut and make his own hats.
He did.
So
the hats were all made by him. He made them for most of his career, and then his wife made them towards the end.
And he used to gift them to friends. He used to gift them to people, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool to see this in here. And then, of course, Laurel and Hardy.
It was done for a movie called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
Oh, that's right.
And he was in that, and they, the makeup, they casted all the actors because they had to make rubber masks for the stuntmen.
I don't know if he's considered a clown. Maybe you can tell me, but I'm a huge fan of Harpo, so I love seeing you have Harpo there.
If you look at your trio, they're Groucho, Chico, and Harpo.
That's true.
Your character and your goose.
And we'll forget Zeppo.
Well, Zeppo, yeah, he kept the books.
And of course, Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
I always love stained glass. Look at that. Paul Wenzel. Permanent home with the Ringling Brothers. Here it looks like we have a little road case and makeup kit for Frosty. The Thinker?
The Thinker.
The way it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. See, this is what we came for. Look at all the costumes. I love it. Now maybe you can answer this for me, sir. I had read that if the clown was white-faced, that meant they were the pie thrower, and if they weren't, then they were the pie receiver.
That is correct.
Okay.
Whiteface is kind of, all the clowns in the world are based on one of these three types. So the whiteface is really the kind of the boss, the authority figure.
Like Bozo was.
Bozo was kind of, well, even though Bozo was more of an, yeah, I would say Bozo would be the whiteface. The August clown, and that word August comes from a German slang word which means silly. So they're, like you said earlier, the whiteface would throw the pie. The August would catch the pie in the face. And they generally work together as a team. The third type is a character clown.
A tramp style, kind of.
Style, and it could also mean like a strong standalone character.
Ah.
So if you're familiar with, say, the Three Stooges.
Yes.
This is Moe, that'd be Larry, that'd be Curly.
Oh, okay. Moe, Larry, Curly. Got it.
Or SpongeBob, Patrick Squidward.
There we go.
Seinfeld, George Kramer.
And all too familiar formula.
Yeah, it really is. So all clowns and comedians are kind of based on one of these archetypes.
Look at the stilts.
Yeah, so they belong to Harry Nelson, who was this clown up here. And so he dressed like a Scotsman, so he would actually wear a kilt. And so these represented his very knobby knees. And they were hand carved.
See, I was wondering what that. At first, I was like, "Are those supposed to be giraffe legs?"
No.
And then I saw the little
Little baby feet.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps with the picture. Do you get a sense of what it looked like?
Yeah, that's great. Now this kind of Duke pinhead, that made me think of the Clown Prince of Baseball. Do you acknowledge
Max Patkin?
Yeah, do you acknowledge Max Patkin as a true clown?
Yeah, he is one of our inductees.
Oh, awesome! Because I love Max Patkin. If people don't know, he just did one of the most amazing routines.
Oh, and a funny, sweet man.
That's what I've heard. I've heard he was extremely nice.
Very nice man.
Tad Tosky and Dwayne Thorpe. That's Dwayne's costume.
That's one of his costumes. There's the photo, you know.
And his big giant telephone that he's holding there in the photo.
Yeah.
Right behind him. And you said a lot of this stuff, or most, was loaned or donated by the family members of
It's all been donated by the family members or the clowns themselves. If they were still with us when they were inducted, then a lot of times they've actually given it to us.
Wow. I don't even know where to begin in here. Holy cow, look at all this. Arthur Pedler.
And that'd be a European white face. So he's a little more elegant, a little more, the wardrobe is very,
Very Mardi Gras-ish
Mardi
almost.
Gras, but it's all handmade, and
Or Carnival.
a clown like that would never fall down or get dirty or pie in his face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's just...
And then you have, looks like a road case. I was always kind of interested also in the clowns because there's no set style that you have to do for the shoes, I've noticed.
No, the shoes could be as elaborate or as simple as you want them to be.
I always thought, growing up, I always thought you had, that was just a staple, was this big style. And then I've noticed as I've traveled, wow, all the different ways that...
Yeah.
That kind of looks like Cookie.
A little bit, but yeah, that's Pat Cashin. He was our board president for many years.
Oh, very cool.
Now. And the cobblers, when they make the shoe, they make it off a mold of your foot. So the shoe is, you see the inside, so it's stuffed with horsehair.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's still comfortable to walk in.
It's the most comfortable shoe you'll ever wear.
No kidding.
Because it's custom made for your foot. It only fits your foot.
Oh, that's true.
So... and then the cobblers can make it with polka dots or checkerboards, or even if you wanted chicken feet, they can make chicken feet. Made in 1963, so they're about 60 years old. And they're not very, fancy compared to some of them, but these are Ronald McDonald's very first pair of clowns.
No kidding. You are kidding me, really?
No, these are it.
They faded just a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because of the leather and everything, but wow. That is magnificent. And you got both of them.
We do.
That's incredible. As a kid who grew up with the McDonald's commercials, okay, can I ask you, how do you feel about the fact that Ronald McDonald, they don't really use his image anymore? I think that's a detriment to the brand, in my opinion.
So too. They use them for the Ronald McDonald House, which they still maintain, which is a wonderful organization.
The charities
and things, and they do use them for major national events like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Ronald.
Yeah, but not quite
they don't do it as much. I think they're just changing their focus on their branding and things like that.
You used to be able to walk in and sit down with Ronald at a bench in a McDonald's.
It's the times is a changing.
Oh wow, I'm a huge Bozo fan. Now maybe you can help me with this. I grew up with, I think, Bob, or no, after Bob.
Joey Dior.
Joey. So is this Joey's or Bob's costume?
This costume actually belonged to the Chicago Bozo WGN, so it would have been probably Bob Bell's costume.
Okay.
But
that's my Bozo. I grew up watching WGN, so that's why I could tell right away. I'm like, it's one of them, but
yep. And
that's probably, yeah, you're right. I think that's Bob Bell's because of the material and stuff, and the head.
Yep.
That's really cool to see.
And then he had many sidekicks, Cookie, Wizzo.
Oh, I loved Wizzo.
This was his last sidekick, was Rusty the Handyman. That was Robin Urich. So we got all these things from him.
Oh, that's great. And then you have a pretty massive collection of the merchandising.
Yeah.
Some of the great things. That's I used to work in a restaurant in Los Angeles, and Larry Harmon used to come in all the time and explain to me that that's how he basically owned Bozo, was that they released a Bozo record and he got the idea, or at least he said that it could be merchandised into a real thing. And
yeah, well, he bought the licensing rights to it and then syndicated it into a television show and then merchandising.
Yeah, so when we talk about the Bozo from WGN being my Bozo, there were Bozos, several Bozos across the country.
200 Bozos. Every major city in the 50s, 60s, and 70s had their own Bozo. So New York had a Bozo, Chicago had a Bozo, LA had a Bozo.
There's Joey, for sure.
But, yeah, that's Joey. That's for sure Joey. And then, you know, as they started to fall away, and then cable became available, so they could we'll just syndicate the Bozo show from Chicago.
Well, hopefully David Arquette will do something with it now.
So. I hope he does.
He seems really excited about it.
Passionate about it, and I wish him much luck. You know, that it takes off, and you know, I don't know how he's going to have to reimagine it, but whatever he is doing, it's as long as it's a positive image, we think it's great.
That's great. Diamond Jim Parker. I love this about his case. He has
all the clowns that he liked.
Yeah, all of his inspirations. Tad Toski's on there. Going all the way around. Isn't that great? And his shoes. Now, is this Carol Burnett? No. Couldn't be, no.
That is Carol Burnett.
It is.
Red Skelton. That's a Red Skelton painting.
Oh, these are all red.
These are all Red Skelton's paintings. That's Jackie Gleason. That's Lucille Ball. That's Lou Jacobs, who was a circus clown. And
oh, yeah.
There's red as Clem Cadilopper.
Oh, yeah, Clem. Yeah, Lou Jacobs, probably the most famous clown.
Definitely one of the most iconic and world-renowned clowns ever.
And then Red Skelton's hat. Wow.
The freeloader hat, yeah.
That is so cool. Wow, what a collection you have here. And there he is wearing the hat. That's great. They have his whole case and everything. A handful of paintings. And I don't think I know anything about this.
Poodles Hannaford was an equestrian clown. He did comedy on horseback. His family had a world-renowned riding act that was a straight riding act. They didn't have, but then he came in and did comedy. So that is the oldest costume in our collection. That is Poodle's original costume from 1911.
Wow.
And his makeup kit, wig, and everything. And yeah.
I was wondering, you know, whenever you see something heavily featured and kind of guarded off, and you know, you got a medal down here.
Yeah, he was inducted into not only was he an inductee here at the Clown Hall of Fame, he was also inducted into the Circus Ring of Fame, which is based out of Sarasota, Florida.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And a lot of these clowns are in that too.
So that's what I meant. This he had like a whole section just kind of to him.
Yeah.
And then here we have Lou
Jacobs, yeah.
On the cover of box of cereal.
Sugar Smack.
That's when you know you're famous.
You and kid, if you're making a box of cereal, you're good.
And Lou's signed shoe. I love that. I mean, to this day, when you see Ringling Brothers little postcards in stores, a lot of times it's Lou's face.
Absolutely. He was the face of Ringling Brothers. Yeah, he really was.
Emmett Kelly. Been through his hometown.
Yeah, with Sedan, Kansas.
Yep. Drinking a Coke.
Yeah, well, he promoted Coca-Cola, so that was like one of his... he was very, very good business person. He did a lot of merchandising.
I was going to say, that's when you know you're big time, when you got a Coke sponsorship as a clown.
Exactly.
I think between him, it has to be he and Lou Jacobs, probably the most recognizable clown faces.
So. Yeah, and maybe Red Skelton.
Yeah.
A lot of people remember him too.
And then here we have Bobo Barnett.
Yep, and that's his little car.
That is great. And then Otto Griebling. Oh, his pie plates.
Yep.
Little pie plates he used to spin. It's a very colorful costume, but I don't know anything about the clown.
Well, Keith was in the very first clown college class in 1968, and he got on the Ringling Brothers Circus. He was there for quite a few years, and eventually he went to Hollywood and became a makeup artist, where he won 6 Emmys for his work as a makeup artist. And since he was from Milwaukee,
Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine. So Milwaukee used to have a thing called the Great Circus Parade every year, and since Keith was a Milwaukee native, he would always come back for it and be like their head clown, guest clown, and then he would bring Ernest Borgnine with him to be like the grand marshal, and he would do Ernest Borgnine's makeup.
Oh, that's very cool.
So, yeah.
What a great story. And then you have his makeup kit. I have all kinds of stuff over here. I think Stevo, the guy from all the crazy Jackass movies, I believe he was went to clown college.
He did. Yeah, I was one of his instructors at clown college.
Oh, you were? Yeah. Oh, okay, very cool.
In 1997, the very last year they had the clown college.
1997.
That was the last year, and he was a student there then. And he really wanted to be a clown in the circus, but he did find his niche otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I had heard that he that was his goal. Like I guess his family was very very into circus life and everything, and that was something he wanted to do. But yeah, definitely found his own way.
He definitely did.
Wow, what a collection you have here! I'm just so blown away, because I mentioned to everybody, you know, starting this video, I said, hey, we may not know all these clowns, but there's going to be so many fun gadgets and different things that the clowns have used for their acts. It'll be worth it. Things like this. Oversized binoculars with bulging eyes. And we saw Mark Anthony. He's a very famous clown. There's his road case and some of his gadgets, his props. Wow. That's just unbelievable how much stuff you have here.
We're very lucky.
There's a big paddle, and you've got, of course, the
exploding hammer.
Yeah, the exploding hammer, the mallets.
Yeah, the paddles are slapsticks. They're actually slapsticks.
Oh yeah, there it says slapstick on there. Then oversized slippers. Now, what's the showcase clowns that you have up here on?
These are some of the graduates of the Ringling Brothers and Barnbilly Clown College. So in the 30 years it ran, from 1968 to 1997, it graduated 1,274 students. So these are just some of them. I'm an alumni myself. I went to the Clown College. So this just is a kind of a showcase of some of the faces. And you know, these were our trunks on the road, and everyone had one, and you could put your costumes, your shoes, your makeup, all your props and things. And some clowns, like this couple here, Tom and Tammy Parrish, were on the show long enough that they were married, and they were really on the show long enough that they actually started a family, and that's their daughter's trunk, Amelia.
Oh, great. Can I ask you what one would expect if they enrolled in the clown college? What are the kind of the preparations? What are maybe some of the things that you do to get them prepared for?
Well, it was hard to get into clown college. It was pretty difficult, but people, because of how hard clown college.
Yeah.
It's like, actually, when I applied in 1985, about 2,000 people applied.
Wow.
So they whittle that down right away to 50. So that's a huge.
Through audition or through written?
We do both. We do an audition and we do an application.
Okay.
An interview kind of a thing. So they cut it down to 50. The 50 of us actually went to Florida, which is where the circus had its winter quarters, and the clown college. And for 10 weeks, they put you through basically a boot camp for the circus. So they taught you things that you can actually be taught, like how to juggle, how to ride a unicycle, how to design a makeup, how to do acrobatics, how to walk stilts, how to throw pies, They couldn't teach you to be funny. You know?
So it was a process of just whittling down
Yeah.
to see who really was meant to be a clown.
Yeah, you had to be funny, and it was a 10-week audition, really. So at the end of those 10 weeks, we would do a show for the producer of the circus, the Ringling Brothers Circus, and he would pick out of the 50 who he wanted to have offer a contract to. So my year, 2000 applied, 50 of us went, 14 of us got jobs.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. You know, they said statistically it's easier to get into Harvard or Yale than it was to get into clown college.
Interesting, you said with this whole time you would prepare, it would never be with an audience. You wouldn't get an audience till you actually got in the circus.
Well, we had we had a little audience for the graduation type of thing.
Right.
But really you were just basically learning skills, and then you had to apply them once if you showed enough potential, then you would apply them if you got on the circus.
Could I ask, why did the clown college cease to keep operating, and is there a chance it could come back in the future?
I don't think it would come back because it was sponsored by Ringling Brothers. So
Okay.
it was there to provide clowns for their circus.
Okay.
You know, and I there's many reasons I'm sure it closed, possibly economics. You know,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. But there are a lot of other training programs that are currently going on in the country that are just not associated with the circus. But like there's a clown camp, there's a moose burger camp, there's a lot of American clown camp.
Right.
So there's
Just not the famed clown college
that was underwritten by Ringling Brothers. So
Wow. I honestly, I had no idea it took so much skill to be a clown. I mean, I guess you don't think about when someone's that good at entertaining you that it's a skill and it's not just something that comes off that easily. Wow. What a great place you have here. Thank you for sharing it with me today.
well, thank you for coming in again. Sorry we missed you yesterday, but I'm glad you came back.
No, this made my day, and especially the Bozo stuff. I'm a huge Bozo fan, so.
There you go.
Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a blast. $10 if you're coming to Baraboo. This is another must stop. Go to the Circus World, come here to the International Clown Hall of Fame, but starting now, it's pretty much appointment only, so make sure you call before you come. Just don't show up, because I showed up and they were closed, and I got lucky they were here. So no joke, that was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I came. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next time. Have a great night from the International Clown Hall of Fame here in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Goodbye.